Welcome everybody. I'm Commander Jorval and want to thank everybody for joining me for another live stream of Baldur's Gate 3 by Larian Studios in coordination with Wizards of the Coast. You've been following along in the previous live streams. You saw that last week we cleared out the toll house. We found out what was happening there with the members who had taken up residence inside the toll house and found some nefarious activities going on and managed to clear it out of people who were masquerading as Paladins of Tyr, but weren't really Paladins of Tyr at all. So today, to start off the stream, we're going to head back to the bank of the river and talk to Karlach and let her know that her pursuers have been dealt with. And then we're going to head up to a cave and get into a big fight with some gnolls and some parties that we don't really know who they are at this time. And then we'll head up to Waukeen's Rest and try to work our way through that and all of the fiery destruction that is happening up there. That whole encounter is going to be very, very RNG based. You just don't know how a whole lot of things are going to transpire while working through that area. Some of it is kind of bugged as well sometimes, so we'll just we'll take a look. We'll see how it goes, and like I say, since we're not going to be doing any reloads or anything, we'll just take what comes as it comes. So with that, I think we'll go ahead and get started, and we should be on the Risen Road right outside of the rune circle there at that location. So let's jump right in. Okay, here we go. Before we start, just to mention something that I kind of briefly took notice of last time. That is that
accident or sabotage.
Lae'zel is disconnected from the group. This is a very well-known bug. It's been going on for at least 2 years now, throughout the early release process or progress of this game. It has to do with whether various members are in stealth when you group and ungroup the party. And at some point during this, Lae'zel has become disconnected from the group, so if she is not the character who I have control of, she is not going to follow the rest of the party around. Now, if she's the one that I'm taking control of, see, everyone else will follow her, which at least is good. We don't have two party members who are disconnected. We only have one. But what that means is that when we're walking around and I'm in control of Lae'zel, she is the one who is going to be the active character during cutscenes that pop up due to me getting to a certain location. So I'm going to have to work around that. I'm going to try and lead the party together using her, and then if I know I'm getting close to a cutscene location or something like that, swap out to somebody who may be more suited to that upcoming cutscene. But it is what it is. We'll just try and work around it as best we can. There are a lot of cutscene encounters in Waukeen's Rest who I want to use Lae'zel for anyway. But for now, like I say, it's just going to become a little bit of annoyance. Go. So the first thing we want to do is head over here. Okay, she was successful in that. Now what I'm going to do here is here. I'm going to drop the shovel on the ground, and I'm going to try and do this, interact with this with somebody who's never carried the shovel before. Okay, so you do have to have a shovel in the party, it looks like. I'm going to try and do it with Lae'zel. Lae'zel's not carrying the shovel. But yeah, as long as you have one in the party, you're fine. So, just a clarification on that. You have to have a shovel in your hand, somewhere in your party to do it, but it doesn't have to be the character currently carrying the shovel to interact with the pile. So, I'm going to send this to the ranger, of course. And now we're going to head back and cross down to the riverbank and talk to Karlach. Karlach's down here. We can get there by climbing down the ladder here.
Objective noted.
And everybody's climbing back up the ladder again because pathfinding in this game is not great when it comes to ladders and climbable rocks and vines and all that sort of stuff. So, it is what it is. I'm going to break the group apart.
What now?
There are my ranger here. Jump her across and talk to Karlach.
Did you get the bastards?
Indeed we did.
For now, but thank you.
Her mind touches yours. Gratitude, warmth, and relief. Then a light, sharper than the truest blade, brighter than a star. It fills you with awe, forcing you to your knees. And from within, a winged figure steps forward, graceful and terrible. She places her hand on your cheek and smiles as she carves her name across your chest.
Kua ad vos nam petrika. Zariel, fallen lady, defiled celestial, ruler of Avernus. I was her prisoner, and her champion. She tried to break me. The paladins you killed were acting on her orders. She'll send more, and worse. No, I'm counting on it. I'll be ready for her. And the first step is to go home, to Baldur's Gate. I've got a score to settle. I could use the company, but until I've shaken Zariel off my back, I'd only put a target on yours. My advice? Stay away from the city. When I catch up with the fuckers who did this to me, the streets will run red.
Okay, so interesting encounter there with Zariel. I have a feeling that that's not going to be the last encounter that we have with Zariel.
Oh, action, not reaction.
If I searched all of these, I did. Okay. But just to check up on the journal here, we finished the Hunt the Devil quest by killing Anders. I think that's the only thing that was outstanding in our journal. Yep. Thanked us and headed off to Baldur's Gate at some point during all of the patches if we actually do get to see Baldur's Gate. I'm sure there's going to be some interesting interactions with her later on at some point. But okay, for now, we can take a look at the map and see what we're going to do. So this is the toll house here. That's where the circle is. We're going to head up into this area here. And then up here. Okay. Yeah. We're going to head up into this area here now and check out a fight that is going on. And we're going to approach this a very specific way.
Something over there.
Okay, well, got another searchable mound here. Malachite, easy enough. I'm going to be putting some of these things onto Gale to carry, because he's the one who's going to be, who has the highest charisma. So there's a way, it looks like, to enter into a cave through here. And there's also a way to come up here. This heads us back toward the toll house and the rune circle here where we were. But you could also climb up here and enter into things this way. So there are benefits to both ways here. One of them is going to lead you in through the front door, so to speak, which is your head-on frontal attack to deal with this upcoming encounter. This way here is kind of the back way in and gives you some other options to manage the conflict that you're about to get into. So this is I think a better way to go into this area. However, you need to be alert as to what's going on when you come through here. Okay, so everybody jumped in. Got a box up here, so I'm going to go ahead and split the group and just do some searching around up here. Okay, camp supplies. And nothing else on the alt key. Come back down. Doesn't look like there's anything here, but there's a tripwire here. It's probably connected to this big boulder sitting up here. And you can also see that we have some hostels that have popped up on the map here. And like I say, that is part of being able to take this road up here. It puts you on the flank of this attack that's going on here, but at the same time doesn't really give you a whole lot of control over other aspects of the fight. And you'll see that more when we come up here. So we're gonna take a shot here and disarm this. Okay, so it's a 10 DC. We're gonna add in our guidance bonus. Okay, need a good roll. Got it. Okay, so that tripwire is now gone. And you can see there's another one here.
There's a trap.
Okay, same DC of 10. Perfect. Okay, so both of those are disarmed. Those are the only two tripwires in here, so I'm going to group everybody back up. And you can see that there are fire wine barrels. These are basically exploding barrels. So you need to kind of watch what you're clicking on in here. You can search the wooden barrels, but you don't want to click on the fire wine barrels. They're not explosive, except for her, because she has a flaming sword. So as soon as she clicks on it by mistake, things are going to get explodey. And you really don't want that to happen. So they're just like that. So you don't want to be clicking like that all over the place. So there is a backpack here. Church. Some money and an onyx. Now you come up to this area here. Just a broken bridge, which you can jump across. Okay. And now you're going to get into a situation here, and you can see we've got Rugen and Ollie here. Ollie's already hurt. And
maybe
you can see that we've got some, at least a hyena up here. There's a gnoll hunter. And this is just by moving my mouse around. So you can see that there's some enemies out here. Look like they're being held at bay by this fire. So what we want to try and do is keep both Ollie and Rugen alive through this. And to do that, we need to kind of keep them out of the fight a little bit, while at the same time getting ourselves into positions that are advantageous to deal with whatever is going to try and come through this gap. And this is the other reason for coming in this way, is because you have a choke point here. You want to be able to funnel your enemies into a single spot so you can attack them there instead of them being able to flank around you. So as part of that, what we're going to do is we're going to kind of move here. We're going to get Rovalin's familiar up. Okay. We're going to get everybody hidden so we can see the cones here.
You saw what happened to the others.
And now we're going to split this group, and we're going to move in here with Lazelle.
I know.
And
But we don't stand a chance out there.
start this off.
What's that?
Okay. So you can see there's a lot of enemies here. And most of them simply do not care about the fire that's on the ground. Okay. Okay, now we've gotten to Lazelle here. So I wish she would have rolled better on her initiative, but she rolled horribly. So now we've got a lot of enemies who have made their way in through here. A bunch of them, I mean, they're all hurt, but at the same time, when I go and look at my other characters, they can't move themselves into position here because the detection cones are all covering the entire area. So there's not going to be a whole lot of options in this fight. What you really ideally want to do is get your ranger up here on this ledge here. So they have the high ground, they have the advantage on their attack rolls because of it. But because of Lazelle's horrible roll here, we're kind of stuck. So the best we can do, I think, this is the only opportunity for us to move her into the fight anyway. So I think what we're gonna do is take the Raven here. The Raven. Okay, we're gonna fly, I think, over to here. Okay. And then I think we're just going to fly up to here if we can. Yeah, we can. He used the raven as a distraction. Okay. The raven's now in battle, so now it's Jorvalin's turn, and can't move to that spot. Closest we can move without getting detected is here. And there's no way for her to jump anywhere else. So can she get any shots on anything? I don't think she can. No. Too far around. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to try and get a shot off. Using as few movements as we can. Oh. I think we might be able to get a shot here. Okay, can. Okay. Now she's in the fight, so now let's see what we can do to clean some of this out here, because we're in a bad spot. Yeah, we're in a really bad spot here. We need to get some of these cleared out. So let's so he's in seething fury, so is he. Who's attacking next? This gnoll hunter out there. Yes. Here. Okay, that's going to be a ranged attack. Okay, so I think we need to try and get rid of these two gnoll hunters here. Move up and see if we can kill this one. And going to move up. Do a pommel strike and see if we can daze it. Critical hit. Made it saving throw though, which is not good. But maybe it'll attack Lazelle instead. Okay. Now we're going to have a whole bunch of attacks here to try and weather. 5 of them. Including Flint, who is the big danger here. He's in Seething Fury, which means he's going to get 2 attacks. And those attacks are very, very dangerous. So we'll see what happens here as we go through. Actually, is this one part of that group? Yes, it is. I'm debating whether or not I should just take it out. I would prefer to use my second wind or my action surge against Flint. Yeah, I think I'm gonna hold it and just see how well this plays out. So let's see what we can do here. Okay, he's gonna get to attack when he gets here. Okay, that was a miss. And another miss. Okay, made the saving throw. That's good. Big bite though. Okay, killed the hyena, that's good. I don't want him to be up there. I don't. Okay, but let's
light them up.
Okay. So let's see who I can hit with Cloud of Daggers here. Okay. The Gnoll Hunter's almost dead there. I think what I want to do is cast this here so I can hit both of them. Log this area off and free up Lazelle to be able to do both of her attacks against Flint. So let's do that. Okay. That takes those 2 out, which is exactly what we wanted. Oh, the Nullfang still has 1. Okay. Things are getting whittled out here, though, but that was a... I think I'm going to do this. Okay. Because if they do pull out bows and shoot at me to break that concentration, I don't want that to happen. So I need Ollie, who's already hurt. I need him to just stay ranged. Oh. Oh. Ollie. You're the man. Well done, Ollie. Okay, so I'm gonna move up here. I am gonna cast some heals on Rugen, though.
Take you.
Okay. And now we're going to see if we can get a guiding bolt off on Flynn. Only 35% chance. Can't hit there. So, do we have what Sacred Flames chance to hit? 55? That's better, I think. It's going to get a saving throw. Okay. That's going to end her turn, and it's going to free up the Gnoll Fleshnar, who's above me, I think. Yeah, but I think he's going to glitch. It's him up here. He has a problem where he's actually above me on the terrain. He's up here. Yeah, he's up here, but sometimes he will glitch and pop down and show up here. It's very strange, and I think that's probably what's going to happen here again, but we'll see. He didn't. So, Lizelle, I wonder if she took some damage from that. Either way, we're now going to use a superiority die and do a menacing attack. Okay, that was very well done. We're gonna okay. Yeah, we're gonna use our action surge and we're gonna try and kill him. Yeah, and then we'll bring Jorvalen to try and kill the Gnoll Hunter. Question is Jorvalen gonna have enough to get there or not? I think either way, we kill Flynn. So... okay. We got a 45% chance to hit here. Outstanding. Okay, and now we're gonna move her back, just so she's not getting hit by that. We're gonna use her second wind to get some hit points back. Okay. Now I think we're actually gonna move her here. Okay, so hopefully she'll take the brunt of the attack from what's coming up here from the Gnoll Hunter, because I don't think we're going to be able to get Jorvalen into the fight here. I could take a potion of speed. It just seems like a waste to do it when I've only got 2 left. I think I'm just gonna try and get in here. I don't think I'm gonna be able to take a shot. I'm not going to be able to. Can I reapply Hunter's Mark from there? No. So... Yeah. I should have force tunneled up to this spot first, I guess, but doesn't matter. Okay, so, oh, he's gonna dash in. That's not great. Wasn't a great decision to make. Nice shot, Rugen. Was a heck of a ragdoll. Not gonna be able to see the Gnoll Fleshnar, so we're just gonna end the turn there. Ollie, I need you to move back. Okay, that's fine. Don't move back, but don't move up either. So, cast a heal on Ollie here. Perfect. End the turn. Okay, good. Then Fleshnar is coming in now, which is what we want. Okay. So now, Lazelle could probably jump out here. And make an attack. Okay. Took off half health. Okay, but now Jorvalin's into this fight here as well. So, can we make a hit from here? We can, so let's reapply Hunter's Mark. Go ahead and make our attack with 65%. Of course. Of course. Oh. D&D, you so silly. Okay, so we're just gonna try and end this, I think.
Tormento! By the gods, you're a sweet sight. Are any of my crew still alive out there? This whole journey's been one grim sight after another. Gnolls, goblins, drow.
Risen Road's more dangerous than ever. You're the first friendly face we've seen since Eltergard.
We're bound for Baldur's Gate. Got some cargo to deliver. But we've a stop to make along the way. Waukeen's Rest. It's just up the road. I'd be enjoying a mug of ale right now if those beasts hadn't jumped us. Listen, you look like you know how to handle yourself. You should meet my associates. We've got our own drinking spot by the tavern. Invitation only. Tell the fellow on the door, Little Serpent, Long Shadow. He'll take good care of you.
Rugen!
It's fine. We'd be dead if they hadn't shown up. A little hospitality won't do any harm.
Okay, now, here's where this can branch a little bit. You can just continue the normal conversation. On the way in, we spotted the chest. It's sitting over there in the corner, the chest that they're trying to deliver. You can try and intimidate him into giving you the chest or what's in it. And that can have some consequences later on when dealing with this drinking spot that he mentioned later on. Or you can just detect his thoughts and kind of gather some more information about what might be in the chest. But I'm just going to go through and ask about it and see what they say.
Aye, the whole reason we're in this mess. Trinkets for some rich tosser in Baldur's Gate. He gets his shiny baubles. We get a handful of Tarenths.
Tarenths are the currency of the Zentarim, a network of merchants and mercenaries with few scruples.
Okay, so I passed the intelligence or the history check there. So that opens up this option here.
You know who we are. very clever. Then you probably also know it's not smart to interfere with Zent business. This is the point when a clever lass like you accepts my gratitude and walks away.
Ooh, got a little intimidating. So now, again, you get a last opportunity here to try and get him to hand over the chest. Again, I'm not going to go that way. I am going to be a clever lass and just walk away at this point. And I'm going to try and approach this a different way that I haven't tried before. So let's just go ahead and leave. Okay. So everything's cleared up a bit. We're going to jump back in here. Okay. I'm going to take
and, well,
Valen. I'm going to hide. And I'm going to enter turn-based mode. Okay, and I'm going to try and pick my way into this strongbox while no one else is watching.
Can't keep me out.
The DC of 20. Five is not going to cut it. Okay, so I'm going to roll again just using my thieves' tools. Again, a 5. I thought I did it last time. A 5 wasn't going to cut it. Come on, dice. Try again with thieves' tools. An 8 is not going to cut it either. Okay, I'm going to actually use one of my inspirations to roll here. Well, actually, no, I'll try. I got 3 thieves' tools, so I'm going to try one more time here with thieves. Okay, this might. Okay, so I picked it. And now you can see it's red, so it's thieving, but
What do we have here?
I'm not being seen by Rugen here. Where's Ollie at? There's Ollie right there. So neither Ollie nor Rugen is looking at me. So I'm going to try and open up the strongbox. I'm going to take the iron flask, and this is going to count as an action when I take it. The goal, taking this is going to be my action. Okay. And now I'm just going to move way far away from the chest. Okay. And I'm going to come out of turn-based mode. And continue moving down here to this corner.
The rest of our crew's half digested, and you're still alive. That's lucky.
And I'm going to jump across here. Now I'm doing that just to completely stay out of the way. I don't know if them detecting me actually would...
Chest's intact, more or less.
would let them know that I stole from them.
Well, lad, it's our lucky day after all.
Okay, but it looks like Rugen has gone back into his standard loop
The rest
of
of our crew's half digested,
saying that
and
some
you're
of his
still
people are
alive.
dead and,
That's
you know,
lucky.
him and Ollie are now alive. So now that we're here, let's go ahead and kind of loot up and explore the rest of this place here. And we'll leave Valen out there, and we'll deal with what we stole there here in a second. Okay, let's just kind of hit Alt here. Some of this stuff, again, is going to be stealing, so you don't want to take it. But all these alchemist fires we'll pick up. These are the flaming things that they were
Well, lad, it's our lucky day.
throwing to block off the entrance here. Okay, so nothing at the hyena.
Our crew's off digested, and you're still alive.
Okay, an arrow of acid. It's really a good thing that they didn't fire these. What happens a lot of times in this encounter is that they'll use their bows and they'll fire those arrows of acid at you, and they really hurt.
Just intact.
I mean,
More or less.
they really hurt. So let's move here and search this. Now we're going to search Flint. Okay, and we come up with the shattered
It's
flail.
our lucky day after all.
We're just going to
I don't feel
take
lucky.
that. It's
The rest of our crew's off digested, and you're
her
still
that's
alive.
searching this.
That's
Now we'll jump
lucky.
out here, search the flesh gnar, and nothing. Okay, and we're gonna come back around to this area. So we're gonna leave her out there. Actually, no, we're not. That's interesting. Because, yeah, there's another section here. Okay. Yeah, this is... We're going to bring her
Well,
back. I
lad,
forgot about
it's
this
our
other
lucky
section.
day after all.
She's not going to be able to do it anyway.
The rest of our
But
crew's off
let's get the
digested,
rest of
and
the
you're
exploring
still
of
alive.
this cave done.
That's lucky.
So there's a whole area up here that you
Just
can jump up
intact.
to and go look at.
More or less.
Okay, so holding it, we got a heavy crossbow over here. Got some sacks that we can search. Nothing in
Well, lad,
particular.
it's our lucky day
Barrel,
after all.
nothing.
I don't feel lucky.
Okay, couple of arrows of lightning.
Digested, and you're still alive. That's lucky.
And then moving over this way, nothing shows up on alt. So we've got a milk can, some candles, a shelf we can search. Or a cheap bowl, nothing that we need. Come back
Quickly
down
then.
here.
Well, lad, it's our lucky day after all.
Nothing else that we can over here, but we can climb up here.
The rest of our crew's off digested, and you're still alive. That's lucky.
Another heavy crossbow that we can pick up.
A crate. Fascinating.
Just intact, more or less.
Lizelle obviously doesn't like just searching around. Just wants to be sticking her sword into things. Or I guess with a great sword, slashing things with her sword.
Well, lad, it's our lucky day.
Some more camp supplies.
I don't feel lucky. The rest of our crew's off digested.
Okay, and a little campsite up here. Doesn't look like anything here is stealing, so that's good. Nothing in the backpack. Backpack over here. Nothing. Great thing. Okay. Right here. Standard burlap sacks. Wooden barrels. Okay. Easy enough. Now you can't get over here. You have to jump over here onto this side. And you want to be careful
Take heed.
because there's a trap
I see
here.
a trap.
So I'm going to jump her back
Crew's off digested, and you're still
and
that's lucky.
actually going to, well, we can go look at it. I'll show you kind of what's over here. Okay. So here we've got a wooden trunk over here that's locked. Now Lizelle doesn't pick locks. So we need our ranger to do that. So we're going to bring Lae'zel back down here.
Well, lad, it's our lucky day after all.
Okay, and we're going
I
to...
don't feel lucky.
I think there's a clear
The rest
path
of our
through
crew's
here
half digested,
without
and
any
you're still
fire,
alive.
but
That's lucky.
let's just lead her out anyway. Okay, we're going to bring Gale out the same way.
On my way.
And Shadowheart.
Let's try this way.
Okay. Now I'm gonna I have no choice really but to bring Jorvellen back in because I forgot about
These boots have seen everything.
that. Now I'm not gonna be able to get past this without being seen, so this is gonna be a test
The rest of our crew's
of
half digested, and you're still alive. That's lucky.
of whether or not them seeing her is going to trigger a fight here. Because I don't think, yeah, you can't get in that way. You have to get over there to loot that chest this way. So far, they haven't given any indication that they know that I've stolen it. So you know what I can do?
Lucky day after all.
I can try.
I don't feel lucky.
The rest of our crew's half digested, and you're still alive. That's lucky.
Where is it? Ah, there it is, the iron flask. Let's send that over to Gale. Okay, so now Gale doesn't have it. He's way out in front of everybody.
Then through.
Well, lad, it's our lucky day after all.
I don't feel lucky.
Like I say, I don't think that her just being seen with it, having it in her inventory would do anything. I just honestly don't want to take the chance. And that's why I went into turn-based mode to do that entire theft, because if you're not in turn-based mode,
Just intact, more or less.
then Ollie and Rugen are just going to keep walking around out there. And while you're picking it, they're going to see you, turn around and see you trying to pick it. So you want to go into turn-based mode to keep them from moving while you're executing those actions. Okay. So I'm going to disarm this trap here. I'm going to attempt to, and I did. And then we've got a wooden chest here. Another wooden barrel. Camp supplies. Always useful. Great. And just the wooden chest. Got some burlap sacks in here. Nothing. Let's try and lockpick the chest.
Well, lad, it's our lucky day after all.
Oh.
I don't feel lucky.
Wow.
The rest of our crew's half
I'm gonna use an inspiration rather than getting it down to one thieves tool. Just not getting good rolls today at all. Oh, I hate using inspirations for stuff like that. And we got Reason's Grasp. We'll talk about this here once we're done. Gonna send that over to...
Well, lad, it's our lucky day after all.
Jump back out of here and move over to this area here.
The rest of our crew's half digested, and you're still
Okay.
That's lucky.
Now I want to move over here and make sure I remember how to... Not encumbered. Should be okay. This is a hard jump to make for medium strength characters. Okay? So, rogues, straight rogues, who don't have a lot of strength, who use strength as a dump stat, you don't want to send over here. I'll show you why as soon as we finish up.
It's our lucky day after all.
If you don't have somebody with a good strength or a decent strength score, then you don't want to send anybody over here.
Come on.
So we're gonna lockpick. Only a DC of 5, which means I can only fail it on a natural 1. So I'm gonna go ahead and just gonna go ahead and roll. It doesn't matter. Okay. Right. And again, there's not a whole lot here, but it is a chest that you can unlock and get some loot out of. So there's no way to continue over here. There's a well bucket here, but you can't do anything with it. So all you can do is now try and jump your way out of here. And if you try and jump from here, you can see I can make it as long as I move down to that very tip of the outcropping there. If you're encumbered when you come over here, you're not going to be able to jump this far and you won't be able to make it out. So you need, like I say, you need to take care when you maybe make the jump in, but because it's a higher elevation here, you can't make the jump back out. So you don't want to get one of your party members trapped out here is basically what I'm saying.
I don't feel lucky.
Put some thought into it before you go, and if you need to skip the chest, then just skip the chest.
That's lucky.
Okay. Alright, so now we're going to put everybody back together.
I crave blood.
What do we have on our rest? We've got one short rest left.
Chest's intact.
Okay, and let's go ahead and search up some of this stuff out here. Okay, speedy reply. Again, we'll deal with this in a second. Okay.
That symbol in the blood. What does it mean?
And you will notice that we have some twisting vines kind of hidden back in certain areas around here. Very similar to what the ensnaring strike does for the ranger. We can actually take this spear and we can search the knoll. Nothing there. You can climb up here, but it's just it's a vantage point. If you're going into this fight, you can come into the fight from up here, this way, which, like I say, is coming up this back way here. And you're on their flank while you're fighting, but they can climb right up this to get to you. So you're not safe and secure, and they can also come around this back way and flank you from behind. So it's not as secure, and you don't have that choke point there with them laying down fire and you being able to close off a lot of it with a cloud of daggers. So that's why I prefer to come at that encounter from that direction. But, you know, in your playthrough, feel free to approach it however you want. I just prefer to come in from the back. And this is just another way that shows you back where we just were on that other side. There's nothing you can do. It just shows a way to get in there. You can Misty Step across this, but you can't jump it. Nobody has enough strength, at 18 anyway, to jump over there to that spot. So it's just a kind of a looky here about what's going on over there type of thing. So now we can head out back this way. Climb up over here. Camp supplies. There's some camp supplies here we missed. And yes, I know there were some camp supplies back there at that flanking position that we missed as well. But they're just one camp supply apiece. And now you can see we're coming into this area here. And this is Waukeen's Rest. Waukeen's Rest doesn't have any enemies in it at this time. All of that has already been dealt with. But there are some things going on in there that we want to check out. So you don't have to worry about trying to hide to approach this place. And here you can see this is the area where we had the previous set of gnolls that we encountered. But as I was saying, you don't have to hide when you're approaching this place. Because, like I said, there's no fighting going on here. The fighting's already over. But we're going to come and explore this back area here.
No blood, no clear wound. Like the boar's life was simply sucked away.
We're going to bring our ranger up here and search it. Nothing here.
A dead boar. But it doesn't look like it's been touched by scavengers.
Okay, so I have a nature roll I can make here. I can add a bonus in here from guidance. Got a lot of bonuses, but a minus from intelligence.
The carcass seems to be fresh, only a few hours dead. You notice 2 small puncture wounds in its neck. Looking closer, you can see the skin around its face is desiccated. It's been completely drained of blood.
Hey, interesting. What creature do you know of that leaves 2 puncture wounds in the neck and drains blood?
Smoke. Something's burning.
We'll learn more about that as we go here. For now, we're going to slowly approach this area over here. Perception failed. Still has guidance, so... Okay, so she perceived it good. So there's a rock here. You can move out of the way and you can search this crevice. Got me some more thieves' tools, which I desperately needed. We're gonna read parchment first. Black silhouette of a winged serpent marks the top of this page. As always, take what you want, but stock it up after. This is for everyone. We're just taking everything. We're not going to stock anything up. Yeah, we're that type of person. We're not the pay it forward type here. Okay. So now I think what we're going to do is we're going to take a long rest before we head into Waukeen's Rest. And there's a reason for that. Make sure if that's how we want it, or we want to use the single short rest we have right now. No, we're gonna take a long rest now. Gale's out. We don't really need spells at this point, but we are going to need something else in here. And I think I want to have the... Oh boy, I hate second guessing myself. Now, actually, let's go do this, and then we'll kind of head back out of here and take a long rest. Okay, so we're gonna head into Waukeen's Rest here. This is kind of through the side door, so to speak, Waukeen's Rest. So you can do a little searching around, just holding the Alt key while you're walking around. Crates that you can search. Nothing. Okay. Nothing else in here. Over here on this side. Camp supplies. And now this is one of the areas where it's actually good to have Lazelle being the person who's going to trigger the encounter cutscenes. And you'll see why.
What lies within?
Move into this. So I can move around the front here and just do some quick searching. Nothing here I need. Nothing here. And now we're back out here to the front, which heads back down the road to the gnoll encounter. that way.
Proceeding.
Okay. So, nothing else too special. This is where we were before. We've already searched this. This is right after you come across the bridge. Here. This is where we jumped across. Nothing else here. Just exploring, looking around a little bit. Got a nice big chasm down here. Might be some stuff. I don't think I jumped across here, but I don't know if you can. Look at this area. See real quick. Oh, I can jump across here. Let's split this group. See if I can jump across over to here. Just to see if I encounter anything. Searching to be done. Doesn't look like it. Alright, doesn't look like it, so we'll just bring her back and we'll group everybody back up. Continue on. Okay, let's head back up to Waukeen's Rest. There's a signpost out front, letting you know that this is indeed Waukeen's Rest, and a little map telling you where to go to get to various places. And of course, now we're in Waukeen's Rest via the front door. So there's a couple of different ways to get around Waukeen's Rest. There's this high ground up here, which allows you to jump into this other area, but you don't need to do that. We'll go open it up. Just because it opens up the waypoint for Waukeen's Rest, but we're not going to actually go this way. Camp supplies up here, looks like. Okay. And you can see farther over this way, another bridge. Looks like a big gate complex here. This is going to become more important. It's actually this. This is where the Githyanki Patrol is located at. And we won't be dealing with that now, and we won't have time to deal with it this stream. But we'll be heading that way pretty soon, probably next week. Okay, so we're gonna head back in this way and kind of look around. We found a dead drow. This is our first encounter with drow here. Looks like we've got some members of the Flaming Fist.
He of the unsleeping eyes, grant me the might to carry this burden. Grant me the faith to face darkness without fear. He should never have been here in the first place. I'm the one that talked him into joining the Fist. A massacre. Drow and goblins slaughtered the lot. Please, just leave me be.
Okay. Not interested in talking. Don't blame her though, really. It looks like they gave as good as they got though. And you can hear that there is something going on at the gate up here. Okay, and there's some drow leather armor. Light armor, armor class 12.
Impressive armor. Drow handiwork.
Okay. Okay, got some dead goblins here.
Are you even trying?
Another flaming fist, another dead goblin.
That was my fault.
And a grease bottle.
Pavel, use your legs!
Okay, let's talk to Tristan
We'll
here.
never put this fire out. You're better off helping anyone trapped inside.
Keep trying.
Okay, now here's why I wanted to come in here right now. Gale has got the Rain Dancer quarterstaff on. We still have one short rest. So I'm going to have Gale cast his Conjure Water spell in here.
Aqua pure.
Okay.
We should look for another way in. Oh, damn it all!
We almost had it.
That did not put that out. So it put out some of it, but I'm going to take another rest here, and I'm going to have Gale cast that up here.
They're dead if we don't get through.
Okay, that put it out. And it's coming back.
What changed? That was my fault.
Interesting. Some of it's coming back, some of it is not.
Someone help!
It's interesting. It hasn't done that before in other playthroughs. But it did clear out a path around here, so at least I can make my way through there now. So what I'm going to do now is just take everybody back out here, and I'm going to make camp out here. Okay, and we're going to take a long rest. Get everything back. Okay, back at our campsite. Looks like Gale wants to talk to us, so we'll just go through and do a round of conversations.
Something's on my mind.
Speak. We follow the road west to the mountain pass. There will be a creche nearby. Then we may be rid of our parasites.
Okay, so no other conversations with Lizelle.
Yes. And clearly the tadpole. If we can't understand it, we'll never control it.
Okay, that's about it for Asterion. Back to Will.
Well met.
Oh, okay, so we didn't do many of the conversations with Will, so let's go ahead and clear out his conversations.
Living legend in the flesh. Slayer of specters, killer of kobolds. The pride of Baldur's Gate. So you know the stories. All true, I might add. Won't be long before they're telling new tales. Mind flayers, flying ships, dragon attacks. The legend grows. But did you see those tiefling kids? Do you reckon our moping and muttering does them much good? They should be chasing frogs, climbing trees, not training for battles they can't win. Those people look at me and they see a hero. Imagine how bad they feel if they were wrong. Now, I always save the best stories for my closest friends and my cruelest enemies. Get to be one of those and I'll spill the whole jug. You get that, right? Spill the whole jug? I guess I'll toss that one in the heap. I'm all ears. There's an old saying I just made up. To fell a dragon, you must chop off its head. These goblins are organized. It's no hamhead pulling the strings. We slither through their camp and off their leaders, quick as crickets. We sniff out the gobbo leaders and take their heads. And we free the druid housing while we're at it. If we want these brain bugs removed, he's our man. But failing that, this gift creche sounds promising, if Lae'zel's telling us straight. I know, that's a pretty big if.
Okay, and that finishes most of the Will conversations, so let's go talk to Shadowheart first, since we know that Gale has something to talk to us about.
Lady of Sorrows, guide us. Did you want something? I'm sure you do. But please try to understand that it's not something I can just talk about freely.
Fine. Just keep out of matters that don't concern you. Fine. What's on your mind? Must I? Thinking about it won't help. We know what to do, so let's do it. Find a way to rid ourselves of these things. Personally, I think finding this Halsin is our best bet. Oh, there's Ethel. Not that I'm keen to trust her. If we're truly desperate, we can try to convince that goblin gut in assisting us. I suppose we'd go our separate ways. Not a slight on your company, of course. Perhaps. Perhaps not. If we do survive, we'll have separate lives to return to. I need to get to Baldur's Gate. There's someone waiting for me there. Someone I have to reach. As soon as possible. Thank you. And you're right. It's a delicate matter. Not something for light conversation. Find a healer. And the sooner the better. I have other matters to attend to beyond this affliction. I must admit, you've been a surprise. And not an unpleasant one. Kindred spirits are few and far between for me. Besides, you saved my life aboard the Nautiloid. How can I do anything but sing your praises? There's no story. None that you're entitled to hear, anyway. Just forget you ever saw it.
Okay, that finishes up all of her conversations. Now we'll turn to Gale.
Ah, there you are. How did you enjoy my deer stew this evening? It's an old family recipe. Good. I tend to season it with spices from Karatur, but given what's available to us, good old Rosemary had to see us through. Not that I mean to regale you with my culinary exploits. There's actually something quite different I'd like to discuss. We've been traveling together for a while now, and during those travels, I've been observing you. I want you to know that I like what I see. The way you diffused the tension between Zevlor and Aradin. The way you stood in front of a crossbow to prevent a murder. The way you got Korga to release the girl. The way we got that boy out of a harpy's clutches. In short, I've grown to trust you.
Some lighting errors inside the game been reported.
Now I need you to place your trust in me. Our journey together is bound to last a while still. As such, I feel compelled to speak. I say this because there's something I desperately need. But while I'll tell you what that something is, I won't tell you why. I have to ask you to agree to this before carrying on this conversation. Thank you. I see I did well to trust you. Now, to the matter at hand. You see, I have a condition. A condition different from the tadpole, but just as deadly. The only way to appease said condition is for me to take powerful magical artifacts and absorb the weave inside. It's been days since I last consumed an artifact, before we were abducted. It is time. And by that, I mean it's imperative that I find and consume powerful strands of weave at the earliest possible juncture. That's part of the why you agreed not to discuss. Wouldn't want to make an oath-breaker out of you. Catastrophe. We've already done the finding. In fact, you have one in your possession. That one right there.
Okay, so there's a cinematic that goes along with that they haven't finished yet.
Thank you.
Okay.
I can feel the storm abating.
Interesting.
Yes, this will keep my condition in check. For a precious while.
Okay, wasn't expecting that. I guess we'll have to see which artifact he chose to absorb. Interesting. Normally it gives you an opportunity to say that you don't want to give up an artifact at this time, but that broken cinematic didn't give me that option.
It's hard to predict the effect any given artifact has, but my condition is hardly a patient one. Rather soon I will feel it stir again, like a distant thunder sending tremors through the soul. I will need to consume another artifact before the lightning strikes. There's no choice but to find more. As luck would have it, Faerun is full of them, though I do feel obliged to point out that items of power tend to be in the hands of the powerful. There'll be danger involved, or great cost. Good. A bit of boldness will serve us well. I know the allure these artifacts hold. I understand their value and their power. All this to say, I understand the sacrifice I ask of you. I hope I can count on you.
Okay, so let's hit tab here and check our inventories and see what disappeared. I have a feeling I know what disappeared. Yes, okay. Well, if it was going to disappear, I guess that one was one to do. Okay, what you see it's missing from his inventory is the iron flask. Okay? That we looted out of that chest. Now, the Sword of Justice is also one of the powerful artifacts that Gale can absorb. So I wasn't entirely sure which one he was going to absorb there because it was basically random. I guess because he had the iron flask in his inventory here, it chose that one. The iron flask is an interesting object. It's an actual artifact from tabletop D&D. In this case, if we'd have moused over it, or if you read when we moused over it while it was in the chest, it said that it felt like a powerful monster was writhing inside of it. And that's true. The iron flask is a magical item that can capture beasts inside of it and hold them in suspended animation, basically. And then you can throw the iron flask, and whenever it breaks at that location, that beast is now going to appear again. And it's obviously going to be upset about the fact that it was caged, and it's going to lash out at whatever's nearest it. So in this game, you can use that to your advantage. You can throw that iron flask at powerful enemies or groups of enemies, like the spider matriarch that we dealt with in the village, in the Blighted Village, and they can be very, very helpful in carving down very powerful enemies to make the whole fight easier for you. You're going to have to then take it out at the end, but hopefully it's damaged enough by fighting with the other enemies around it that it makes the fight much, much easier. In this case, it's been absorbed, so we can't attempt that. But what was inside of that iron flask was actually a spectator. A spectator is from the D&D main monster compendium. Think of it like a cousin to a beholder. A lot of people who are familiar with D&D know of beholders. Multiple eyes on stalks. Every eye has a very particular ability that it can utilize, both damaging as well as spell casting. Very, very dangerous enemies. The spectator is just like a beholder light, so to speak. It's an easier version of the beholder, but still has a lot of the same abilities. I think in this one, it has 10 hit dice or 12 hit dice. So it's pretty healthy. It's got somewhere 80 to 85 hit points. So it's a big monster to have kind of fighting if you can use it in the correct scenarios. I was not going to use it that way anyway, even though it is really, really fun bringing it out in the middle of the goblin camp where you may have 15 or 16 goblins all trying to get to you, and they have to now fight a spectator. It's actually humorous to see. But yeah, I guess out of all the ones, that was a decent one for him to absorb. So we'll see if that has any consequences, you know, later on through the playthrough. It's not going to have any consequences in the early access, because that chest, as they told you, was being carried to somebody in Baldur's Gate. Somebody in Baldur's Gate wants that chest. And when it's delivered and that artifact is missing, they're going to be upset about it. I don't know if they'll be able to tell if Gale absorbed that artifact and be upset at Gale because of it. But too late now. That bridge has already been crossed. Nothing we can do about it. So, but that's what the Iron Flask artifact is, and well, was in this case. We also picked up Reason's Grasp. Reason's Grasp is a barbarian item. Barbarians are the only ones that can rage. So if you're playing a barbarian and you're utilizing the rage ability, when you end the rage, you gain 15 temporary hit points. So it's a great set of gloves for a barbarian character. We just don't have any barbarian characters, and we won't encounter any in this playthrough. We also picked up the Shattered Flail. This is an interesting weapon. It's basically a mace +2, where if you hit somebody with it, it does 1d6 hit points to you in return, and you can go mad. You can have the mad effect cast on your character if you don't continually deal damage with it. So, I mean, it doesn't hurt you, it heals you. So it's an impressive weapon to have as something like a one-handed weapon for your cleric. So that every time you hit, you get some healing out of it. But if you don't continuously hit with it, it can cause you some problems. So I don't normally utilize this in playthroughs, but I'm going to equip it on Shadowheart this time and kind of see what happens with it. At the end of the day, it is a mace +2. It's better than the vision of the absolute because of the bottom number. But we'll see what happens here. We may switch back to the vision of the absolute. We also did pick up Speedy Reply. So this is a really good weapon for Will to have. He uses rapiers, but he can also use scimitars. I believe that's the case. Let me think about that. I have to go check and verify that. But the other thing it's also good for is here right now I've got a dagger +1 and my steel forged short sword. I can actually remove the dagger. I can move the short sword into my offhand, and I can put Speedy Reply into the main hand here. And that gets me an instant damage bonus. I went from 6 to 9 to 5 to 10. I also get momentum, which gains me extra movement during that time. So if I do need to get in, dual wield, and then get back out, Speedy Reply is gonna help in doing that. Other than that, the dagger +1 is very, very useful. and I'll probably hand that off to somebody else, either Will or Asterion back in camp. We did pick up the faded drow leather armor. It's leather armor with a 12 armor class as opposed to padded, which is 11. So this is also going to go to Will or Asterion back in camp. They're the only ones that are using light armor. Other than that, there was nothing else that we picked up other than some poisons and that sort of stuff. That kind of brings us up to date on the inventory here. So with that,
Time to press ahead.
let's go pick up our camp supplies. Actually, let's check our inventories and clear out these camp supplies that we picked up. Okay, and that should be it. Okay, so that's 15. 15 and 12 is 27. 37. Something with 3. Take 2 acorn truffles and 1 of these, and that's 40. Okay. Now we can go take our long rest. Auto select, we don't want the gruel, we want that one. That gets me 40. I don't know why these 3 packs are showing up in this list. These 3 are not on my characters anywhere. I don't know if that's a bug in the new patch or not, but let's go ahead and do our long rest.
You don't rest well, flitting between dreams and nightmares. Maybe you break your meditation because you know something is wrong. Or maybe you just get lucky.
Shit. No, it's not what it looks like. I swear. I wasn't going to hurt you. I just needed, well, blood.
There, in the dim firelight, you see him for what he really is. A vampire, a slave to sanguine hunger.
Interesting. So, the first time you long rest after you encounter that desiccated boar, this cutscene is going to play out. And it has some interesting ramifications here. And be very impactful on how Asterion interacts with your party here. So, you have some options here. You can obviously try and kill him, or you can ask some more questions about it, and we did find the boar, so we're going to start there.
It's not what you think. I'm not some monster. I feed on animals. Boars, deer, kobolds, whatever I can get. I'm just too slow right now. Too weak. If I just had a little blood, I could think clearer. Fight better. Please. At best, I was sure you'd say no. More likely, you'd ram a stake through my ribs. No. I needed you to trust me. And you can trust me. Thank you. Do you think you could trust me just a little further? I only need a taste. I swear.
Okay, so here's where you have a choice. To either let Asterion drink some of your blood or not. There is a consequence to this, but it's a temporary consequence. But you're also going to have to deal with something during the process of him sucking your blood if you let him do it. We're going to let him do it, and I'll kind of explain what happens as we go.
Really? Of course. Not one drop more. Let's make ourselves comfortable, shall we?
shard of ice into your neck, a quick, sharp pain that fades to throbbing numbness. Your breath catches, your pulse quickens.
Okay. So, you have an opportunity to get him to stop. First thing to know is that Astarion is not going to stop on his own. If you let him continue, he's going to keep continuing until there's nothing left of you. So, you're going to have to try and stop him at some point, and this is your first opportunity to do it. You're going to get 3 opportunities to try and stop him. The problem is that each time you continue and let him go, the harder it is to stop him from doing this. The DCs of the saving throws that you need to do this get harder and harder the longer you let him suck your blood. So, we're going to get a -1 from charisma on this. We're going to get a +1 from strength. We could get a huge benefit from melee, but we're not going to try and kill him. We are just going to try and push him back, though, here. Get that +1 from strength. So you start out with a DC of 7. That number gets higher and higher each time you do this. Okay.
That was amazing. My mind is finally clear. I feel strong. I feel happy. Shouldn't take long. So many people need killing. Now, if you'll excuse me, you're invigorating, but I need something more filling. This is a gift, you know. I won't forget it.
You watch as he stalks towards the forest, stronger, more confident, ready to hunt.
Okay. So now you can see that I've gained the bloodless condition. So I have -1 to all of my attack rolls, saving throws, and ability checks. And Astarion over here he's happy. We can go talk to him. Looks like they've got some texture problems.
How do you feel? It'll pass. Just be glad I'm not a true vampire. A bite from them and you might wake up as a vampire spawn, like my good self. All of a vampire's hunger, but few of their powers. Oh no, I should be cinders in this light. I hadn't seen the sun for 200 years before we crashed here. Someone, or something, wants me alive. They've changed the rules.
Okay, I wonder what's happened here. We didn't get a dialogue or continuing on here. So I don't quite know what's happening. Okay, we might have come up on a bug here. Because I don't think we're going to be able to get out. Stop looking at me. It's like he's breaking the fourth wall when he moves his eyes over and looks right at us. It's kind of creepy. So, yeah, like right there. So I think we're going to have to end this because there's nothing I can click on here through this. So that could be bad because I haven't saved in a while, which is again my fault. Yeah, we're not getting any keyboard options to be able to interact with anything. So nothing in the dialogue history that indicates what we could be doing. And let's see if we can just take a long rest and get out of this. Okay, good. Can. Well, we can't. So...
Great God, Helm. Allow us peace in this plane and beyond. Teach us care when we would be
we are back in this, but... Darvalin is completely trapped inside that dialogue. And she is not following.
An efficient path.
So let's... we cannot save either during this. Wonder what happens if I go back into a long rest.
Great God, Helm.
Oh boy.
Peace in this plane and beyond.
There were 3.
Okay.
Teach us care when we would be reckless. Teach us certainty when we would have doubt. So it is spoken, and so is it done.
As for my other quirks, well, we can figure those out in time.
Okay.
No more surprises. You have my word. I'm just glad you're being sensible about these revelations. I was worried people might turn up with torches and pitchforks. Although there's still time.
Okay, good. Whew.
At the ready. Great God, Helm.
Okay, let's make sure we're all grouped up here. Yeah, we are. Still the same thing with Lizelle being broken, but at least we got out of that.
So it is spoken, and so is it done.
Out of that conversation. Let's go ahead and do a save while we're at it. Good reminder to save constantly and continuously in this game. And now
Great God, Helm. Allow us peace in this plane and beyond.
we can cast Lesser Restoration
When we would be reckless.
here.
Teach us certainty when we would have doubt.
See if we can cast that and get rid of Bloodless. Perfect.
Is that blood?
Okay. So now we no longer have the Bloodless condition. So, and don't forget, Lesser Restoration is able to be cast by Shadowheart because of the Amulet of Savannah. So it didn't take up a spell slot. We didn't use a spell slot to cast it. So it was just a good opportunity there to get rid of that. And that's why I said it's temporary, because we can easily get rid of the Bloodless. So now let's head back in here. We've got a couple of different ways we can approach this. So first, oh, looks like they've already gotten through the door without us. I think this is bugged. So we're gonna ungroup this. We're just going to take Lae'zel up here, because there should have been a cutscene at the gate, or at the door there, to help them pry open that door. So this is bugged, it looks like.
Cautious steps. Open that door, and we go up in flames.
Okay, so let's go over here. See if we can actually continue this. Hey, this is bad. Alright, let's see how bugged everything is. Go see if we can... Yeah, everybody out here's completely disappeared. Kristen's there.
The tracks converge here. 2, maybe 3 drow. At least one of ours. From here they went... Damn! It's all so confused. What does it look like? I'm trying to sort out what happened here. But I can't piece together much thanks to the fire. Nothing I didn't already know. Drow and goblins raided the inn and burned it to the ground. I'm trying to find out where they took the... what they came for.
Okay, all of these I'm going to have some negatives here. Gotta pass a DC of 10. That's not good. Oh, and I got a 4. Wow, got a good roll there.
Oh, damn it all. Half the Sword Coast probably knows by now.
The raiders kidnapped Grand Duke Ravengard of Baldur's Gate, killed his entire guard while they were at it. The councillor died too. This is all gone to the elves.
Teachers care when we would be reckless. Teachers certainty when we would have doubt.
There were drow here, so my best guess would be the Underdark. And if they took him down there, Helm save him.
I wonder...
Peace in this plane and beyond. Teachers care when we would be reckless. Teachers certainty when we would have doubt. So it is spoken, and so is it done. Great God, help.
Oh, wow. Okay, this might not be bugged. This might have been my fault. That's interesting, to say the least. I've never run into this before, but this may be what happened. Okay. Go back down here. Yeah, Yeva's bugged.
Still breathing, despite everything.
Okay, yeah, this is broke. Okay, and I don't know if this is because it's a bug or if it was because of me taking too long walking around out here and doing the long rest and that sort of stuff. I didn't save before I came in here, and I don't know when the last autosave was. It was at the... Yeah, it was inside the camp. Just 7 minutes ago. That's not going to be long enough, I don't think, for it to have mattered. Well, let's load it and see what happens. This is an extenuating circumstance here. Because if this did happen, and me doing this long rest and everything took too long, then what we'll do is we'll skip this portion of Waukeen's Rest, and we will come back to
Great God, Helm. Allow us peace in this plane and beyond.
to get it.
Teach us care when we would be reckless. Teach us certainty when we would have
Let's see if we can talk to Yeva here.
it is spoken, and so is
See,
it
she's kicking at the door, but there's no door there. And yeah, she's not able to be talked to. Okay. I did not know that that was a thing. I did not know that there was a time limit. If that is not a bug, if that is meant to have happened, that group that was up here at the door saying that we needed to hurry and open up the door, if that started a timer, and if you don't kick open the door in time and get up to the second floor in time, then the counselor actually dies. And that's what Gauntlet Dane was talking about. Then maybe that is an actual thing in the game. I've just never experienced that in a playthrough before. Otherwise, if it is bugged, which with Yeva sitting here kicking at the door, trying to get in, but there not being a door here and some other NPCs missing, it kind of tells me it might be a bug as well. I'm just not entirely sure. So what we'll do is we'll go through Waukeen's Rest here, and then we'll finish out the two things that are in Waukeen's Rest. It'll probably be time to end the stream at that point. And then what I will do... Yeah, because see, she's trying to get in there.
Let us have words.
And she can't. So I think this is a bug. So we'll finish out the other two things here in Waukeen's Rest. We'll end the stream. And then what I'll do is during the week, I will play... these... I will actually... Well, yeah. Yeah, that's what I'll do. During the week, I'll play us back up to this point where we are ready to kick in this door, and we will go through that portions of Waukeen's Rest at the start, and then we will continue on to other things besides these two other quests, so you don't have to see them again. And then at the end of next week, at the end of next week's stream, I'll come back and do these other two things because they're not on a timer. They're not on a time limit. So I'll be able to go through this door, do what I need to do, because there's a very, very important part of rescuing the counselor that you need to complete. And if you don't, you're going to miss out on a very important part of the playthrough here. So we will want to do that. We're just not able to do it right now because of what appears to be a bug. So we're going to toggle the group mode here. We're going to put Gale and Lae'zel together.
Objective noted.
And we're going to take them both in here. Okay, and we're going to go up here to this door. And we're going to put Lae'zel right here.
Cautious steps. Open that door.
We're going to ungroup. And we're going to, whoops, and we're going to put Gale. Oh boy. This is completely gone. Completely gone. So, something is triggered all of this here. So most of the Waukeen's Rest quests and encounters here are not going to be doable. Benrin is dead, so we can't rescue him. The counselor has died. Yeah, see, this is bugged because she's talking about they're dead if we can't get through. So, this thing has become bugged. Something has happened to... Something's happened to this... to the environment here that is... kind of bug this whole thing out. So, I think what we're probably gonna do is just... oh boy. Okay, I wonder if...
My pleasure.
Whoops. Don't have Lazelle with me.
Eager for battle.
Okay. Get these two out of here. I wonder if other portion
Without delay.
bugged out as well. Okay. So
Great God Helm, allow us peace in this plane and beyond. Teach us care when we would be
trying to get through here. Probably I don't care if we take fire damage at this point. They're just irreconcilably broken, so we'll go through some of these other things. Do want to cast Speak with Animals here. We are going to look into here. We're going to cast Guidance.
Maya, Fortio.
Okay, we're going to talk to the group and we're going to walk her in here.
Surprised this hay hasn't
Okay,
gone
so
up
she
in flames
failed.
yet. Curious.
Horse feed.
Hell failed.
Burned for now.
Shadowheart can cast Guidance.
Worth a shot. There's something hidden
Okay.
here, in the hay.
She passed it. So there's a gilded chest that was hidden inside this haystack. Something's going on with the darkness here as well, because the dark vision isn't showing up. There's a dowry ring in here. This is part of the rescue the burning man quest that we missed out on. Because Benren is dead.
Action, not reaction.
Okay. And we're going to have...
On my way.
I continue through
Anything
here.
of use?
Hot lid. Don't need it.
Monsters everywhere. Kill.
Okay, gotta make a DC 5 check here.
No. You're not one of them at all. I was ready to run you through. My mistake, friend. An attack. Monsters. Little ones and taller ones. They took the shiny one. He killed many. Yes, it was screaming, waving around its metal. I made him stop screaming. Him? He was the biggest. Now I'm the biggest. Walk well, friend.
Alright. So... Talked to the ox, found out he did some good work in here.
No traps, please.
Ain't nothing in the crates. Just walking around checking out all the areas.
Enough waiting. I crave blood.
Okay. Now we have these crates over here. Actually, we'll search this barrel first. Thing.
This is the spot Rugen marked. Doesn't look like much.
Okay. So, you did see that propped up, that this is the drinking spot, quote unquote, that
No one stopped me yet.
they said that this is where Rugen was. So, kind of head in here.
You spot a man crouching between the shelves, just as he spots you.
Bugger! Oh, Helm's Orphs. I thought you were Flaming Fist. Well, down you go then. They'll be on us soon, so if you're looking to trade, you best be quick. Entrance is hidden behind the wardrobe. Here's the key.
Okay. So we'll bring Iselle in here and now have her take over the lead. And there's a bunch of stuff to attack. Also a bunch of stuff to search here as well. Okay, don't need a hammer. And again, just like other previous rooms that have all of this wine and stuff in it, you want to be very careful about what you're clicking on when she's holding that flaming sword. Okay, another chance to get a shovel if you need one. Nothing. You continue on down this way. Lots of chests and sacks to search through. Thing. Nothing there. Over on this side. Nothing on the alt key here. I'm gonna switch back to... Yeah, there's some lighting issues going on here because her dark vision is not lighting up the areas like it should. So, making it a lot harder to search all of this because you just can't see anything.
Empty.
Okay. There's the hatch that takes you down. I've already searched these. So now we'll head on down. Okay. Now we're in the Zentarum basement. The Zentarum is the group that Rugen and Ollie were a part of. So now we can start searching down here in this area. A little more light, so gonna make it a bit easier, but again, camp supplies. And it's kind of tragic. No, I don't want to have to do all this again in my own time. Because this is basically just bugged. But it is what it is. Should have been saving more often and be more aware that this is early access. So, my fault just as much as the game's. So now we'll drop down to this lower level. I'm searching down here.
Fascinating.
So not a whole lot in here, doesn't look like. Okay, got some trunks and other chests over here. Good, some more camp supplies. Looks like a last set inside this room. Interesting, can't reach that one. Interesting. Okay, we'll come back, we'll come out here. We'll look around. Hold the alt key, nothing here. Nothing especially important down here. Doubt we're gonna find anything in any of these, but search them anyway. Can't search any of those. Okay.
Let's have a look.
Sorry, I know this isn't the most exciting gameplay, just a bunch of looting of chests and everything. But we talked about that last week. I'm the type of person that is going to search everything. Whatever we find is whatever we find. But yeah, down in here, not expecting a whole lot. But a random crate in the middle of nowhere is an engraved key. That's a quest item. This is why you search these things. Kind of funny that that actually happened. I didn't plan it that way. Don't need the bottles. Probably can't search that. No. Go ahead and send some of these. Camp. Don't need to carry them around. Okay. We're gonna go back here. There's a locked wardrobe. And it unlocks because we have a key. Okay, so now we're gonna go ahead and head down the stairs. Unlocked a waypoint here for the Zentarum basement. It's good. Got an autosave there.
Speak.
What path lies before me?
More camp supplies here. More camp supplies.
That's far enough. What's your business down here? Answer honestly and maybe we'll kill you clean. Whoa, hold your arrows. This is Rugen's savior, I'll bet. He told us all about you. Come on in then. Any friend of Rugen's is a friend of the family.
That's interesting. Because normally Rugen and Ollie are standing behind her.
Without delay.
But they're not here. Yeah, there's a few things here that are a little bit wonky.
Consider me intrigued.
Okay. See, they have these pressure plates all the way down this. It doesn't matter if you step on them or not because we've been welcomed in. But if you are fighting your way into here, these can all trigger. And let's see, I'm going to try and sneak up on this one. They're really hard to see before you actually step on them.
That might be worth a look.
And you see they're pretty hard to actually perceive. Well. And there's one more down here.
Hope you weren't followed, man.
Something over there.
Okay. Now there's not much use in doing anything down here until you go up. Oh. This is interesting. Aha. So this is what's happened because we stole the iron flask out of the chest. This is why Rugar and Ollie weren't standing up there. Ollie's now been killed and Rugen is getting the crap beat out of him because they found out that that artifact is missing. Interesting. Like I said, I haven't done this on a playthrough before, so it's very interesting to see all the consequences of stealing the iron flask from the chest. Okay, so we're gonna go up here and talk to Xeris.
I was glad to see Rugen, until he told me he lost the shipment. Failure creates debt, and debt requires payment. But he'll live. That's worth some coin. And my thanks. Pity we didn't have you on the job from the start. Our trader can show you some of our more exotic items now. But don't delay. This place is likely to be rubble soon. That's Zent business, not yours. You did me a service. Doesn't make you one of us. Someone kidnapped a Duke, right on our bloody doorstep. The Flaming Fist will need someone to blame. I don't plan on it being us.
Okay, so we have an option here to confess to this. That's probably going to be a bad thing, though. So.
Strip this place bare!
Okay. So let's go check our journal. Check to find the missing shipment. So Rugen thanked us. She rewarded us here. But yeah, Rugen's paying the price for us stealing that. Very interesting. Okay, so now you can go down here and talk to some people. So I'm gonna talk to Baldur here and see what's going on.
Ollie was a decent lad. Pained me to cut on him like that.
Oof.
No more.
This is interesting. So we have an opportunity here to intercede. Freeing him is probably going to be bad. That's probably going to incur the wrath and make everybody go hostile against us. Finishing him off might do the same thing. Because she said he'll live. So I think I'm just going to leave. Holding the Alt key. You can search Ollie. Yeah, this is not stealing.
Free me now, and I'll see that my patron rewards. I need only tell her it's a gamble. It's happened before.
Okay. Now we can head down here.
Here, make your fella throw me something.
And
You got coin?
here we have Brem,
Aye.
the trader.
Fine. But who are you? His muse.
Well, don't you cut a fine figure? Want your portrait done? If you have the gold, my pet artist will make you a most heroical likeness. Let's say we're his patrons, yeah? Found him wandering the wilds alone. He needs protection. And if his paintings cover our costs, so much the better, eh?
Well, they did say in that intelligence check about history earlier that they don't have scruples, and this is probably one of them.
Are you looking to buy him? I'm open to offers, mate. Threats? Not so much.
Okay, so how about we try some Githyanki intimidation here. The DC of 15, we have advantage. Okay, good.
Wonder if the fist were better than this one.
Hey, I was just looking to make a little coin. Ain't after a mess? Take the money, bastard. If he means that much to you. That is crap would sell anyway.
Okay.
I can't say I've ever been bought before. How much did I fetch? No, don't tell me. There's nothing so depressing as learning one's true value. Well, you should at least know what you've paid for. I am the Oscar Fevras, at your service. An affliction for which you cannot be faulted, this far from civilization. But my patron will be most grateful for your heroics. My betrothed, I should say. Assuming Lady Janeth still wishes to marry me after our little, falling out.
You recall a recent scandal. A patriarch of Baldur's Gate who wished to marry a commoner.
I did not run away. A date was never set. There were complications. Before my fame, my patron, there was another woman. One I planned to spend my life with. But when Lady Janeth offered me a future, well, it felt only right to mention my past. Right, but unwise. I was forced to retreat into the countryside, to paint and to clear my head, to choose, I suppose. Indeed. One to split the very soul. But I dare not dwell on it any longer, lest I weep. And we have your reward to consider. Once I have made my way safely back to the city. Say, I don't suppose you could spare some coin, could you? Ease the discomforts of the road some.
Well, of course. It's only 200 gold, though.
A hero to the hilt. Seek me out in the city. Truly. Beneath my brush, you'll live forever. Until Baldur's Gate, then.
So it should be a set of interesting conversations that we end up having if we ever make it to Baldur's Gate at some point. Well, let's go ahead and talk to Brem here.
Something I can help you with? Of course. Got some interesting stock for a friend of the family.
Okay, now Brem has some very, very interesting items here. So the first thing we're going to do is go through and sell items that we have that we don't need to carry anymore. So we'll actually get rid of some of these items. How has she got those 3 supply packs? I checked her inventory, she didn't have them. I wonder if those are bugged. I'll go check those here in a little bit. So I can sell the dowry ring. It's not useful because of the quest. We'll go back and deal with that next week on the stream. Everything else fine. Shadowheart, everything there's fine. Gale, he can do some selling. Okay. So I'm going to hold on to these heavy crossbows for a second. Got a longbow 3 to 10, the heavy crossbows 3 to 12. But we'll hold on to this for just a second. So you definitely want Gale to be doing the purchasing. Again, the giant breaker crossbow here is 12 to 48, or 1248 if Lazelle buys it. If Gale buys it, it's 1152, so saves you 100 gold. So you definitely want him to be doing the purchasing, but let's look through some of these things. So kind of starting here with the Whispering Promise. This is a no-brainer. It's just a great ring for your cleric. Whenever she casts a healing spell on somebody, that character that they healed is also going to get a 1d4 bonus to attack rolls and saving throws. It's a no-brainer. You want it, just buy it. The Jolty Vest, and this is kind of a shame that the rest of Waukeen's Rest was bugged out, because that would have explained some more of this. Suffice to say, there is something in this game called lightning charges. Now, I can't find any reference to these in tabletop. I think this is purely a Baldur's Gate kind of creation. Obviously, Wizards of the Coast has approved it, but it's just rather interesting. Lightning charges are... it's a condition that is affecting you, and you gain lightning charges based upon certain things. If you do certain if you're wearing certain items, you can do actions that will gain you lightning charges. So for instance, there are some boots where if you dash, every time you use the dash, you'll gain lightning charges because of it. There are weapons that if you hit somebody with an attack from that weapon, you will gain lightning charges. And you can use those lightning charges to gain benefits to everything that you do. So the first is that just having lightning charges, you get +1 to attack rolls, and you deal 1 extra lightning damage every time you hit. That's nothing very powerful. I mean, the +1 to attack rolls is great. The +1 lightning damage is fairly useless. But if you gain 5 charges total, then the next time you deal damage, you deal 1d8. So it's kind of like they build up inside of you, and then as soon as you hit, it releases a massive lightning charge. But you also lose 1 charge every turn. So if you're using items that gain you 1 charge every turn, you're just going to lose that charge at the end of the turn. So the only way to gain charges over time is to use items or weapons that gain you multiple lightning charges upon a use. And we're going to kind of explore that next week when we go back and do a non-bugged Waukeen's Rest. Because you will see some of what I mean by that when we get to it. At the end of the day, though, what happens with the Jolty Vest is if you take damage and you have lightning charges on, then whoever attacked you must make a dexterity saving throw, or they'll become shocked. And shocked, they're basically they have disadvantage on ability checks and saving throws that are dex based. This isn't the greatest type of help to you in combat. If a 13 armor class medium armor is what you need to wear on your character, if that's a good thing for your character, and you have a weapon or something or some other item that gets you lightning charges, then why not wear it? But for the characters that I have, this isn't something that I would ever invest in. It would lower my armor class on everybody that would need it. So for instance, I've got scale mail +1, which is 15, so I'd lose 2 armor class just to gain some benefits of being jolty. It's not something that I would ever use on this playthrough. So, studded leather armor +1 is great. It's a light armor with a 13 armor class, as opposed to a light armor with 11 or 12. So it's a straight upgrade to anybody wearing light armor. That's nobody in my party, but it is an upgrade for Will or Asterion, either one of them. So it's a good thing to have to equip on other party members, not necessarily mine though. A rapier +1 is also a straight upgrade for Will. He uses rapiers. He's got a rapier right now. A rapier +1 is a straight upgrade for him, so a benefit for him. The pike +1 is not something that I normally use, but it's 1d10 +5, which makes it kind of interesting. If you look at Lae'zel, and I compare this to the Everburn Blade, this is 2d6 +4 for a total of 6 to 16 without the 1d4 fire damage. So 6 to 16 on its own, whereas this would be 6 to 15. So it's fairly close to what the Everburn Blade does by itself, just like I say, without having the additional fire damage. So it's a great two-handed weapon that does have extra reach, which can be very beneficial in certain situations. It's just not something that I'm going to be interested in for any of my characters. If I didn't have the Everburn Blade, that might be something I might look at, but not here. Longbow +1. Now, longbow +1 is a straight upgrade over anybody who's carrying a longbow. And right now, Lae'zel is carrying a longbow, but she also has a heavy crossbow in her inventory, which is a straight upgrade over the longbow. So putting that in her inventory and having her equip it, she's got a 3 to 12 right now. The longbow +1 is 4 to 11. So this is now a downgrade for her. Heavy crossbows are one of those things where they, again, are heavy. This is 8.1 pounds of carry weight. So it's pretty intense for somebody trying to carry this around. So that's the main benefit that the longbows have over it. But it is a damage decrease, 3 to 12 to 4 to 11. So you do break, or you do have a slight damage decrease because of it. So I'm not going to be buying it, but it is something very, very useful. And can be something that you might need on some of your characters. The Giant Breaker, however, if you look at this, this is 3 to 12 damage, 1d10 +2. My light crossbow +1 is 4 to 11. So this does have an upgrade over the light crossbow +1 that I'm using. And it can give the condition of reeling to your target. Reeling is basically something that, kind of like Bane and stuff like that, you get a negative to saving throws, to hit rolls, and that sort of stuff. So this is something that I am going to buy. I shouldn't have bought it using her. I should have bought it using Kale. And I'm going to have her equip that right off. I'm going to take the light crossbow. I'm going to send it over to Shadowheart because she can use light crossbows. They're a simple weapon, not a martial weapon, and give that to her to give her a straight upgrade from 3 to 8 to 4 to 11 on her ranged. So now everybody has some decent ranged, and you just don't care about ranged on Gale very much anyway. So, and the last is just a dagger +1. Again, daggers +1 are very, very useful. I've already got one sitting in my inventory that I'm going to give to Asterion, so I don't need another one. Other than that, there's nothing else that I need in here. There are some more loot items, or bard items, which are obviously fun to see in the game. But yeah, this is kind of where we're at. I don't need any more of those. I'm going to get rid of... The heavy crossbow can't be used by either Will or Asterion, so I'm going to get rid of that. I want to keep... the longbows are... Longbows are martial weapons as well. Let's check on that. Oh. Character sheets. Yeah, light crossbows are simple weapons. Longbows are martial weapons. So, Asterion will be able to use one. I don't think Will is going to be able to use one, though. So we don't need 2 longbows, but no harm in just keeping it for now. When I get back to camp at some point, I'll go through equipping them kind of like we've done in the past. So now that kind of finishes up. Bryn is a great trader to have access to. And it's got some really good items, so that's why you want to complete that quest and make sure that Ollie and Rugen survive, so that you can come in here, get thanks from her, and then have access to Brem as a trader to be able to get those items. So there's a bunch of other things to look at in here. Most of what's in here is marked as steel, but we can go looking around a little bit. Okay. Let's go explore some of the hideout here. So we already did talk to Xeris. Don't need to open up anything more that way. Go up here. See, there are some things down here at this end which aren't marked steel. All the rest of these are marked as steel, so just go ahead and pick up. Looks like some more camp supplies, more books. Okay, now we can head over this way. There's a down area down this way. We're going to stay up top for now. You can see... What the hell? Okay, this thing is really bugged. Really, really bugged. Okay. Yeah, really bugged. This is only supposed to happen if you do something down here. So this is quite interesting. So Vol isn't going to get an attack for a bit. Barad isn't going to get an attack for a bit either. but we can attempt to... I really don't even know why I'm playing this through. But anyway. Okay. Very interesting. Okay. As a rogue, he's going to be able to attack. Shouldn't have done that. Should have cast it on Karad. Oh! Critical hit. And that was the new cinematic that they added for critical hits. So first time seeing it there in the playthrough, really. Okay. Here, I'm just going to move up to here. Not going to go toward that proximity explosion, or that proximity mine. I don't know why the proximity mine went off anyway. Okay. That's what the proximity explosives do. They can destroy the wooden bridges. So things can get very interesting with them. So just like that, you cause a lot of damage because of the fall damage that they take because of it. So, and it also cuts off a direct attack pattern, or a direct attack that these people have to get to me. Okay. So you don't want him walking through the poison. Jump over it. Now 21 to 30. I'm gonna have him. So how can they get to me? Can't really. I'm not gonna cast Cloud of Daggers or anything like that. I'm gonna go with something more direct. Okay, so he's got concentration Witch Bolt now. Okay. And now we're going to get an attack from Yarg over here. Now Yarg has poisoned his hand crossbows, and he's going to be able to attack with both of those. So, probably going to get a big hit on Lazelle if I had to guess. Wow. Okay. Alright. That's my fault for not thinking about the environment. I guess. Yeah, Yarg is just dangerous. He's just flat dangerous. I do need to kill Vol, though. Okay. So now I'm gonna jump over here. I'm gonna move onto the opposite side because I don't want Shadowheart to take the brunt of an attack from Yarg. I don't want that to happen. So Okay. Yeah, I have a scroll of Revivify, but it is an action. Not gonna be able to do it. I don't think they have a way to get into range, really. Yeah, they're just all gonna sit there. So this has now become a ranged fight. And I'm not gonna have a way to get into range with any of them for my magic use. It's too far for everybody. And I can't move up because of this. So I wonder... Lazelle's coming up next. Okay, so let's move here. See if I can get a scroll of Revivify. Okay. So Lazelle's back up. I'm gonna try and get him to move back out of the way. And now I'm going to have her move up. Cast Cure Wounds.
Take cure.
That did not get very many hit points back. I'm going to use Healing Word as well. And see if that's enough. I don't think it's going to be enough. I think Yarg's going to attack her and kill her with his poisoned crossbows. Okay, interesting. So now the fire's burned out. So I can jump to get over here and make an attack against him. Jump was my bonus action, but I needed it to get into spot here. Oh, and now I'm going to move back so that he can't attack me from there. Going to kind of do the same type of thing here. That's going to use half of her actions.
This is your end.
Or her movement. Fine, now I'm going to move her back out of the way. Okay, the wolves are just going to sit there and snarl at me. Okay. Gale isn't going to be able to make an attack, I don't think. Yeah, that's too far. But we'll just leave Gale. Okay, we'll move Gale over here, so he definitely cannot be attacked. And then... Okay, that's going to take 2/3 of her movement. But she'll still be able to move back out of the way. Okay, good. He's got 1 hit point left. Dashed, so if he's a rogue, he's going to be able to make an attack. Yep. Because for him, dash is just a bonus action. So... Alright. Finish that off. Go ahead and reapply Hunter's Mark here. And the turn. And now it just turns into a ranged fight. They can't do anything to respond to any of this damage. Now just a okay, nothing else he can do there. Move up here. Can't shoot that. Can shoot that. Can shoot here.
Time for some bloody work.
Good, end that one. Reapply Hunter's Mark here. Can't do anything. Finish her turn.
I will not know failure.
Flat miss. And again, I didn't want to do any of this. This is all just things that really aren't part of the normal process here. And I can't do anything there.
This is worth the cost.
Can still hit here. So can't apply Hunter's Mark, but I can take a shot. Okay. So that's done. I'm anxious to see what happens with the rest of this now. Are all of these charges now active? All of that sort of stuff. All these questions that go along with this. Let's go ahead and take a short rest and get some of these hit points back. Oh. Just see if these are active. They shouldn't be. When they're active, they turn red. So they should not be active. And they're not. I'm not going to search these bodies. Because again, I'm going to be replaying this portion of it offline. And going through it normally. Without this attack sequence that just happened. And then we'll be back at the start of Waukeen's Rest next stream, and we'll go through the unbugged portions of Waukeen's Rest. I'm just gonna have to replay it on my own. So, just to kind of show you what happens if you do decide to go this way. I mean, you certainly can. I'm just not going to.
Let's have a look.
So, you can search Yarg here. Yarg has a key. A Zentarum key here. And again, I'm not picking up any of the extra items because I'm not planning on keeping this, so it's all fairly pointless for me. And wow, this thing is just severely bugged. Go look at Vol. I think Vol is the other one that has the keys. Yes. The ornate key, and she has another Zentarum key. And there's one more character that I killed that fell off this ledge and has disappeared through the floor. But here's what happens. How this fight normally happens. You make this perception check here. The wolves, there's a wolf standing right here, and if you talk to it with Speak with Animals, it lets you know that there's a fake wall here. If you go through this wall into this hidden area behind it, that is when that group becomes hostile. That's how it's supposed to happen. So if you go through here into this area, then those group of 3 NPCs and 3 wolves goes hostile. They're not supposed to go hostile when you're just walking around. So just because things are so bugged out, I have no idea why. So let's kind of use our dark vision here a little bit with our ranger and see. You can see there's an elevator, and there's an elevator winch that's locked. Okay, if you go up and use it, okay, it says it's locked, and I think I'm gonna say the same thing for Lizelle. Yeah. One of those characters has a key to this. and it can unlock it. Now, I can unlock it here,
Interesting times. Can't keep me out.
which I will. And I'll show you kind of what this does. Oh boy. Been a great day for rolls. Wow. Okay, got a good roll on my guidance. Okay. So that unlocks the winch, so now you can use the elevator. And I'll show you what the elevator does. Okay, normally you wouldn't see this. But I'll show it to you. There's a cinematic here. I'm just going to let play out. Because I don't like the whole cinematic that's broken type of thing.
Contraband. Why else would so many goods be stored in such depths?
Okay, this is the storehouse. This is a secret area that they have, and you can see there's a locked heavy chest here. There's a bunch of boxes around. There's a locked rustic chest over here. There's a whole bunch of locked items and things like that around here for you to look at and loot. And you can do this. You can walk around here and loot all of this stuff. There's also another way down here, and you can see that this has been mined. What looks like mined. There's a way to get out and down here into this much larger, expansive area. This is the Underdark. Okay, it's a very large underground area that you can access from multiple different locations. This is just one way to get into the Underdark. There's another way into the Underdark from the Blighted Village that we talked about while we were there. And there's a bunch of things to explore down here and some quests to gather in the Underdark down here as well. And at that time, you can get through this area and come up here and loot all of this without having gone down the elevator and through that secret room and triggered everybody being angry at you. Okay, so there's no need for you to go this way when you can do it from inside the Underdark itself later on. So, but this is what would cause everybody else to become hostile. So normally I don't do it this way. Okay. There's a button here, and I've actually never pushed that button. So let's see if we can unlock this iron gate. Okay. That was locked by one of the keys that we picked up. And I think it was the ornate key. Or no, the Zentarum key. Unlock this. And this room is normally, this gate and this gate are normally red. So if you try and pick your way in, it's going to be stealing, and you can't get in here without triggering that same fight that we just went through. As you're going to see when you go through here, the stuff that's in these things isn't great.
Very well.
So there is some gold to be had in here, but it's just not worth it in my mind to go through this way, but you certainly can. All of the DCs on this are pretty high. So you're going to be failing these, and this is a disarm check. So I want to do this again. Otherwise the trap's going to trigger. And again, I'm just doing this to show you some of the options. I guess it's kind of interesting that it got to this point, even though we didn't want to be, so you'll be able to see some of these options that I'm not going to do in my playthrough. So now if you search this, there's 352 gold in here and a grease bottle. So nothing really, you know, I mean, like I say, there is gold down here, but it's just not a whole lot of gold at the end of the day. But if you need it and you're desperate for it to buy some of those items from Brem, then feel free to come up here and take those, you know, have that fight. It's just not something that I do. Hey, again, another 345 gold and a malachite. And these trunks and that sort of stuff have almost nothing in them. So there's a few things here and there holding the alt key. You can see there's a pork loin and some camp supplies back here.
What's hiding here?
The main benefit of this fight really is being able to have access to all of this stuff. I think there's like 1,500 gold between all of these rooms and the storeroom down below. Oh, okay. The Zentarum key was on, so that was the ornate key that we used for the other one. The Zentarum key, she took it from Lae'zel using magic pockets. It's basically a way that the game says if you've got the key in your inventory, then any of your characters' inventories, we're going to magically transfer it between characters so that they can use it without you having to try multiple characters to find out who's got the key. But inside this room, again, there's an ornate chest here. It's not trapped or anything, but it's just got 100 gold and a bronze goblet. Now again, there's some other stuff in here. There's a painting that's worth 200 gold. He inserts the desks and all these books, and there's very little else in here. There's a gold ring here, some books, brass locket. Searching around in these other things, you're not going to find a whole lot. So again, there's nothing really special here that justifies to me killing the members of the Zentarum to get into. I'm kind of keeping on a good relationship with them throughout my playthrough, but I certainly get it if you don't want to. Oh. But for me, that's about it. There is another way to go over here, and I guess we'll just go this way and just up, but
repositioning.
Nothing. We'll just clear out the map. Yeah, it's just a way to go. You can jump across over to here. Head back over to the way that you came in. But not everybody can make that.
Something over there.
Okay, this dirt mound would be stealing, which there's not a lot of people to observe you right now. So you could probably get away with it pretty easily. Okay, and this brings you back down to the bottom. And this is where you came in, and we didn't talk to Garias.
You don't want to keep Zaris waiting. Believe me.
Okay, nothing else special there. And that's really it for the Zentarum hideout.
I made a bucket of coins off him.
You know, we've got 5 minutes left here. Let's go back up there and see what that button does, because I don't think I've ever pressed that button before. Let's just go see what it does. Yeah, this button right over here. Okay, didn't do anything that was... Oh! Okay. Now the proximity explosives have armed. Okay, so that's what the button did. Interesting. Okay. So can I hit the button and turn them off?
Consider me intrigued.
Yes. Okay. Interesting. Okay, so that arms and disarms the proximity explosives. Interesting button to know. And that lever right there, I would assume, opens this gate door here or disarms those traps. But we don't need it since we're on good terms with them. Oh! Wow. Okay. Well, like I say, things have gotten very out of whack here. So we're not going to go through and play this and have this fight. It's pointless for us to do it because, again, it's not going to be part of my playthrough. So what we'll do is I will offline go back and reload a save. I will play through the gnoll fight and stealing the iron flask from the chest and looting that area. And then I will come over here again and I will go through the normal progression inside of here. Actually, I won't. I will then come back and get us back to outside of Waukeen's Rest. And then during our next playthrough, next week, we will go through Waukeen's Rest and complete the quests in there in a non-bugged fashion. And then we'll continue on. That's not going to take up the whole time, so we might continue on to the Githyanki Patrol and go through that. And then after that stream is done, I will come back and go through this area here again and do this kind of off stream, so to speak, so that we don't have to go through all this again and duplicate things on stream that we've already done. So we're doing things a little kind of out of order and taking some additional time offline to do it myself, but it is what it is. If I'd have saved beforehand, then I wouldn't have to do all that. We'd have just reloaded once the bug happened with the dialogue out in front of Waukeen's Rest during the long rest and all that sort of stuff. So that'll teach me. Next time I'll save more often. So I think at that point, with that, we're going to wind up the stream and say again, thanks everybody who showed up. Certainly appreciate all the views that I've gotten and the support that I've gotten. If you have any questions or comments about the stream today, feel free to leave a comment on the video and I'll respond as quickly as I can. And with that, I will say thank you again and I will see you next week. Farewell and take care, everybody.